So like I said, I'm going to be recording this session. My name is Will Moss. I'll be the moderator for this evening's event. Welcome and thank you to all of the students that have taken out the time to learn more about ServiceNow. We welcome you. This will be a very informative event. So first things first, I'm going to introduce myself, but I'm also going to share my deck from the ServiceNow team so that you guys will have a visual. So let's see, share screen, share my deck. Let me put this in right view mode for you. Welcome. Okay, so this is a ServiceNow event, but first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Will Moss. A lot of you guys already know me. A lot of the students here, you guys already know me as being the CEO of HBCU CONNECT, the opportunity engine for students and graduates of HBCUs. Now I'm here to introduce and welcome ServiceNow. ServiceNow is a company that we formed a relationship with last year. We had our first event also for students for opportunities with ServiceNow for summer internships in 2021. ServiceNow still has some great internship opportunities available. So not only are you going to have the opportunity to learn more about ServiceNow if you're not already familiar with the company, you are also going to have the opportunity to potentially interview for an opportunity this summer. And they have opportunities for a variety of different areas, but lots of opportunities in IT and tech and software engineering. Also opportunities for MBAs. So if you're a current MBA student graduating in December or graduating next year, there are internship opportunities for you as well, business operations. But I'm going to let them focus on giving you the details and the background for their opportunities. I'm just here to facilitate, but I wanted to also thank everyone for taking the time out to learn about ServiceNow, because if you guys, didn't come to these types of events, then these events probably would never happen. But the fact that you take out the time to learn more, to engage, and then hopefully spread the word or even participate in a potential internship makes this all possible. So thank you all for joining us. You're in good hands and in the right place. But with that being said, let's learn more about ServiceNow. So what we're going to do this evening, let me go over the agenda quickly. First, I'm going to hand it over to Chris Rogers to give you an introduction of ServiceNow, to give you some background information on the company and maybe a little bit about his experience. Then following Chris will be Dave Gutierrez, who's going to give you an intern program overview. Then after Dave speaks, I'm going to hand it off to Tony Nguyen. Tony Nguyen is a hiring manager. He's going to give you the perspective from a hiring manager. So if you're looking to land that internship, you need to be listening up very closely. So Tony's going to speak a little bit from the hiring manager perspective. Then I'm going to hand it to Patrick Lowndes. So Patrick is actually going to speak also about the internship experience, also talk about some of the opportunities that his team has responsibility for. So very interesting information. And then last but not least, I'm going to hand it over to Edwin Coronado, and he's going to speak to the journey from intern to full-time employee, which a lot of times if there's a match, you become an intern, you intern at a great company, then the goal is always, potentially you have the dream job after graduation. So wishing you all the best, but thank you guys, first of all, for being here. And without further ado, let me introduce Chris Rogers with ServiceNow.
How y'all doing today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to have this event today to come talk to you guys about ServiceNow. But before I even get started talking about ServiceNow, I would like to start by saying Happy Black History Month. Very excited to see you guys. And before I jump into ServiceNow, like I said, I'll give you guys a little bit of history about who Chris Rogers is. I'm Chris Rogers, Diversity and Inclusion, product and engineering, and my main focus is making sure that we cultivate relationships. So when you do come to the company, you do have the resources you need to be successful here, as well as building a cohort. So, and also advising you about the great opportunities here at ServiceNow. I'm going to give you an overview. We're a ticketing company started in 2003. And guys, when I tell you this company, as you see some of the numbers here, our market cap has doubled since the pandemic. We are $100 billion market cap company right now. A lot of people don't know that we are the best kept secret in Silicon Valley, but not no longer. So that's why we find it's important to have this event to educate you guys on, as you see the numbers. Over 80% of Fortune 500 companies use ServiceNow, use our platform, use our software. We have a 99% renewal rate. That means customer service is ultimate. It's one of the things we strive on, taking care of our customers. We have a hungry and humble attitude, making sure we're taking care of our people. And then also, as you guys see, we are a global company. Over 25 countries we in. So when you think about some of our main places, we think about California, San Diego, Boston, New York, Orlando, and then also international. When we think about India, Switzerland, Australia, you name it, Germany, Switzerland. We have company, our head offices in all those places. And as you see, we're pushing upon like 15,000. I like to round up. 15,000 employees across the country. And also, we are a publicly traded company, over $580 on the New York Stock Exchange. So, like our tagline, we make the world work better for people. Will, could you please go to the next slide, please? So when you think about some of our customers, like I said, we're a software company. So some of the customers we have, AT&T, Apple, American Express, Disney Plus. We just signed a big partnership with the NBA. And I would like to tell you guys one thing that nobody's talked about that was kind of cool. When NBA did the bubble in championship, they use our software. They had 0 people test positive for COVID using our software. So we talk about cutting edge, being on top of everything. That's what we're doing. Walmart also one of our big customers. We have colleges, universities, Lowe's, Zoom. I mean, it goes on and on and on. So I would kind of just, next slide, I would kind of just yield to kind of just talk about, we are a premier company. And I just want you guys to think about that as you start to look at opportunities that you need to look at. We are definitely one of them. And I will let Will introduce our next speaker. Like I said, happy Black History Month. Look forward to talking to you guys later.
Hey, Chris, before you go, I want to give the students context on every person that speaks, because I think that'll help us, especially when we go into the breakout sessions.
Okay.
So can you talk a little bit about what you do at ServiceNow?
Well, so one of our employment engagement, community outreach, making sure the minority community knows about ServiceNow, know about our products, and also our employees on the product engineering side, like creating events, we just did something cool. We just had Common and some HBCU president come speak to our company, as well as we brought Emmanuel Acho, and then also doing events like this, driving awareness around the engineering department, our internship. So that's kind of my job. I'm sorry.
You said Common. You guys had Common.
Yes.
Okay, so Common, for anybody, for all the HBCU students that don't know, Common went to Florida A&M, so he's an HBC grad, famous actor and rapper, and ServiceNow engaged Common for an event.
Yes, correct. It was amazing event. He tore it down like Common do. It was great.
Nice. Okay, thanks.
And also, I would just like to say we did have President Obama come speak to the company also he came and spoke at the beginning of Black History Month. So we're doing, we also have $100 million fund we did for the Black community. So ServiceNow has been very intentional about making sure we reach our market that we're trying to reach. So yeah, I'm excited about the direction we headed.
That's huge. So thanks, Chris. And for the students that are watching, make sure you take note. Especially if one of the speakers speaks to something that you're very interested in, as far as the opportunities that are available, or as far as conversations you might want to have in the breakout sessions. Take note on who you would like to speak to, because at the end of the event, we're going to have breakout sessions, and you'll be able to engage and ask questions and talk to some of our panelists that are on from ServiceNow. Okay, thanks, Chris. With that being said, let me introduce our next speaker, who's going to give an intern program overview. Dave Gutierrez, if you're ready.
Thanks, Will. Hi, guys. Yeah, so my name is Dave Gutierrez. I work as a staff program manager in the engineering operations space, specifically for the United technology group here at ServiceNow. So what that means is I work with platform, front end and back end, application development, support, release management, central QE, a whole bunch of groups that all make up this one larger group that works underneath our CTO. And as a program manager in that space, I run a lot of programs from our boot camps to a new initiative called Project Happiness, trying to improve the lives of our day-to-day engineers. But one of the programs that I run there is also this intern program for UTG. So I'm in charge alongside one of my colleagues, Nancy Savage, to make sure that we track the entire life cycle and experience of our interns here in UTG. So that means taking everything from starting with our captains with how many interns do you need, into sourcing at events like this, through interviewing and then offering and hiring on our interns. So seeing that all the way through from we know we need interns to, okay, we've got them all in the building. But it doesn't just stop there, right? Once you're in the building, we also want to ensure that you have a great experience. So there's a lot of programming that goes into that, which we'll go into some detail here in a second, to make sure that you're exposed to everything that ServiceNow has to offer and that you have a great experience and that you, hopefully you don't leave the building at the end of it. We bring you on board at the end of your intern experience. So it can be a lot of work, but it's all in service of individuals such as yourself and making sure that we bring all of this top tier talent that I know is sitting in the room right now into our company and that we fuel our pipeline that way. So let me talk a little bit about, a little more in depth about the goals of the UTG program, internship program. As I said, we exist to funnel top talent through our employee pipeline. So we're a really in-demand company, and so we get a lot of senior level and executive level interest. But we also want to make sure that we're getting all of that lower level, the IC1s and 2s, people are starting out their careers like you, that we're getting that top talent accounted for as well. And the internship program goes a long way towards doing that. So people that are in situations such as yourselves that are coming out of school right now looking to start your career, we want to make sure that we're sourcing that and bringing in the best talent that we can. We also want to make sure that we're exposing you to what makes ServiceNow unique, the cultures, the challenges. It's not the easiest job in the world, but you don't want to work the easiest job in the world. You want to work at the jobs that challenge you. And so ServiceNow presents its own unique challenges, and which hones you to really start your career at one of the top performing companies. And with that comes a lot of opportunity. We are growing rapidly, and the ceiling is high in any situation that you step into at ServiceNow. So hopefully when you come through the building and you start seeing some of the programming that we do for you, you start to realize, oh my gosh, the sky's the limit when I start to work at ServiceNow. And so we want to make sure that you see that. The other key thing that is, I think, differentiates us from some other internship programs is that at the heart of everything we do as an internship program is conversion. So I've worked at other companies where an internship program is a little bit more like a summer camp, like come and see what this company is about and then go on your way. And at ServiceNow, we're very much about converting our interns into full-time employees. So we set a high standard for our interns coming in. We set a high standards for ourselves. So if you come through the door as a high-performing intern and you perform to the level that we want to, we are committed to trying to make sure that you don't leave the building without an offer. That's the edict from my leadership. That's the edict from their leadership. We want to make sure that we're not just bringing you in for a nice summer experience, we're bringing you into the ServiceNow family. And so hopefully that's a mutual feeling on both ends of it, that by the time you leave, you want to be a part of the family. But if you come in and you nail it like we expect you to, we want you to be part of the family too, and that's important. Shifting gears a little bit, I talked a lot about exposing you to our culture and to our company. And so we do a lot of programming once you're in the building as well. Sometimes you can kind of come into a new company and you're like, great, there's your desk. See you in 6 months. And that's not what we do here. We work around the clock to make sure that you have some top tier programming. A few of the key ones, and this is not everything that we do, but I wanted to highlight some of the key steps we take, is we assign everyone, you of course have a hiring manager, but you also get a mentor assigned to you, which is important. Again, you can sometimes come into a new company and it can be really daunting, especially a large company like ServiceNow. You have an individual mentor that works with you on daily or weekly one-on-ones, that assigns you your projects, make sure that you're working on high value projects and that you're set up to succeed on those. I think Tony touches on this a little bit later, but you're not just coming in as an observer, you become a member of the team. And so we set you up for success on that. We also do our roundtables. So we staff regular roundtables throughout your intern experience with both our VPs and our directors. So you're immediately getting exposure to some of the leadership of our company. Again, on a weekly basis, you're able to talk to and ask questions of some pretty senior leaders in our company. We do our tech talks. Tech talks exist to kind of expose you to our product, give you a chance to deep dive on what it is we do here at ServiceNow, both on the team that you're on and then on other teams. So again, you can look across the company and say, wow, I can broaden my horizons and think through, like, I have limitless options here in the company. And so you aren't just coming in with your head down and working on a project for 6 months. You're really getting to see the full scope of everything that ServiceNow does, which is a unique opportunity in a company like ServiceNow. Of course, the event that's near and dear to my heart, we do the annual hackathon for all of our UTG interns, which is a 3-day event where we block our calendars and you get a chance to really put the nose to the grindstone. You can find a issue that maybe you've encountered in your short time at ServiceNow to try to solve. You also can find maybe a real world issue that you think ServiceNow is uniquely suited to solve and spend 3 days working on that. And that all culminates in a final judging round with our VPs and our CTO. So again, the exposure is high when you come into our company. You're not just put out into a corner, right? You get to sit there and ask questions of the CTO and have him ask questions about your project. And it's a really great time. In fact, there's been some projects that out of the hackathon got put into our backlog, and those interns continue to work on them as actual ServiceNow products. So really high value program there. And of course, there's some prizes involved there too. I think we did some drones last year and some AirPods. So we have a lot of fun doing it. It was a great event. And then I did say that this isn't all that we do. There's also our early in career part of the HR org that does a whole bunch of events in addition to that. There's all sorts of special events and concerts that go on when you're here. So I didn't want to leave them out in the cold. But these are specific to UTG, a lot of the programming that we do for you so that you have a great experience here. I could go on and on about the internship program. I did want to take one quick minute to talk about program management and my role here. It is a really fast growing opportunity in tech to become a program manager. It's a unique job. It's not always the easiest job. It's a difficult one. A lot of times I refer to it as the CIA of jobs in SDLC, because your successes are often very quiet, but your failures are very public. And so you have to be if you're uniquely suited for being a driven, ambitious, schedule-oriented person, and above all, you have kind of a heart for servant leadership and serving teams and helping teams succeed, program management could be really right for you. It can be both technical and non-technical, but if you find that, if you're ever doing group projects and you're that unique individual, most of us hate group projects, but some of us get on there like, I love running point on group projects. I'm all about trying to make sure that we're setting our stand-ups and we're setting our goals and we're hitting our goals. Program management could be for you, especially because in software development, it seems like every 6 months there's a new methodology, there's a new way to do it right. And so program management's really important to go, I'm going to stay at the forefront of waterfall, Scrum, Agile, Safe, Scrummerfall, all these different methodologies to do software development. You can be a really high value individual in a company and have, again, a really high ceiling on your career there. So if it's something you might be interested in, hop into my breakout room and talk to me about it.
Excellent. So David, before you go and we pass the microphone virtually. Yeah. So just to reiterate, how large is the internship program? Approximately how many interns do you guys have come in?
Well, it's important to note that our internship program, it covers the entire company. And so we're a large, but not entire part of the company. Right now we're targeting around 170 interns.
Wow.
That we're trying to bring in. Some of those are already hired, but we still have a lot to go. So we're actively still hitting up events like this to bring people on board.
That's huge. So I wanted to reiterate, just so for all the candidates that are out there that are paying attention and you're wondering about the opportunity here, as David just said, there's roughly 170 interns every year. The other thing I wanted to ask Dave is what happens now that we're in COVID-19 world? Like, so I know maybe could you talk about a little bit of the locations that are typical, and then how does the internship program look now that we're in COVID-19?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we have offices all over the world. In our purview, we're mostly focused on US and a little bit in Canada. And that spans, there's some in Santa Clara and San Diego specifically. We've also had some on a small handful on the East Coast and a couple folks in the Pacific Northwest. But last year we had to pivot on the fly. I remember I took over the internship program, and 2 weeks later, like, the world caught on fire. So I'm not saying that, there's a causation there, but something happened and we had to pivot really hard. Right. That we went immediately to a full virtual internship, which we're doing again for this year. So we bring you on, we send you your laptop, we do all of the onboarding through Zoom, we do all of these events through Zoom. We did the hackathon entirely through Zoom, and it was great. It was nice because a lot of people were concerned about whether or not they could move to a place where they could work in our offices. And though we were trying to work out housing on, so some people were just like, I'm not gonna uproot myself. And now it's a unique opportunity to kind of do an internship for a company like this without having to leave where you're at.
I think that's huge. So for everybody that's here and listening, what Dave is just explaining is that you guys can basically work remote this summer. But the other thing is that I'll ask you, Dave, just to confirm that these are paid internships.
Yep.
And typically when the students, this is another thing that impressed me, right? Because a lot of companies have internship programs, but they don't make considerations for the students that have to relocate for the internships because the internships are so valuable. But ServiceNow does have considerations for taking care of students and when they have to relocate. So from what I understand, students still may receive some type of compensation for housing for the summer.
Yeah, you would get into that a little bit with your HR rep and your hiring manager when you get into that, because I know it's adjusted a little bit because obviously the cost of relocation has adjusted, but there's still considerations there for sure.
I think that's excellent. So I wanted to make sure to touch on that, the fact that these are paid internships. So not only will you get great experience, you'll also get paid for your work. So thanks, Dave. And for those of you guys, hope you're taking notes. Like I said, take notes on if you have questions for specific team members, so that when we have the breakout sessions, you can engage a little bit more intimately. You can turn on your audio and video in the breakout rooms and talk to the different ServiceNow team members. So thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next speaker is, I always want to say Tony Starks from Iron Man with this futuristic picture. But we have Tony Nguyen, who's a director of software engineering at ServiceNow. Tony, if you're ready.
I am. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. When I got the invite from Chris, I was just super excited to be a part of all this. So just start off, want to introduce myself, give you a little bit of background of who I am. My name is Tony Nguyen. I'm a director of software engineering here at ServiceNow. I have almost 30 years of software experience, 25 of those professionally. Worked for a lot of different startups early on as an engineer, so writing a lot of code. But then I took that fork in the road as a manager and as a leader. Jumped from startups to larger companies and worked for companies like Sony PlayStation Network, where, funny enough, I worked with Dave Gutierrez. Also worked at Intuit TurboTax, and now here at ServiceNow. I've been here for over 2 years, heavily involved in the intern hiring process and early career hiring, because I'm really passionate about that, because that's basically our farm system for the future, right? To build that community of engineers that we want to rise up. So going through the deck here, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the hiring manager perspective, what I look for, what other dev managers look for, and I'm going to give you a perspective of what I do. It's not entirely the same across the board, but it's pretty similar. And then I can hopefully see you in one of the breakout rooms to answer any specific questions that you may have. But just to talk a little bit about the hiring process, obviously it starts with the application, and it starts with the application online and events like this, right, where we get a resume. And just, it's not on there, but the resume is like the first thing that we will see. And it hopefully gives us an idea of who you are. And that's essentially your foot in the door in speaking with us, right? So that's your first impression on the company, and knowing you students are very close to the college application process. It's very similar. You want to toot your own horn, not sound super arrogant, but toot your own horn and stand out from others. So think of the resume as not just all the things that you did, but how are you different from everyone else? So the resume is super important, and I'm really passionate about that part. If you have questions around that, feel free to join the breakout room, or I'm pretty sure the contact information is going to come out, and reach out to me, and I'd be more than happy to review your resume. After the resume or the application part, some teams, my team in particular, does a hacker rank evaluation, and what that means is it's a peer, really quick test to test your skills, your coding skills, just high level, just to evaluate if you essentially know how to code, right? This is followed up by a number of phone screens. And this is where the recruiters would talk to you a little bit about who you are, what you're looking for, and what ServiceNow is looking for. This would hopefully marry the two, right? This is our swipe right, swipe left technique. So we definitely want to match the two. We don't want you to come in and be surprised with what we're expecting and looking for. And then after the phone screen is when you make it to the next level on the on-site interview. We call it on-site, but it's really just the Zoom meeting now. And that's when you meet the team or a hiring manager and a couple of engineers, and they talk you through some coding exercises, just to feel you out, to see how you code on the fly, and what your skill level is at. But one piece of advice I want to give to everyone here on the interviews is make it a two-way conversation, right? This is not just a one-way, we're looking for the best talent, and not a two-way. So if as a two-way, you need to find some place that you feel comfortable bringing yourself to work every day. Hopefully that's ServiceNow. That's my hope. But if it's not, that's all the better. Don't settle for a job. Look for a company that will nurture you, mentor you, grow you to the next level. So that's essentially the hiring process, and hopefully once you're on board, you get through the internship, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. What are we looking for? That's a hard question to ask when we're talking to potential engineering interns. It's hard to get experience when the company that you're working with, that you're applying for, wants experience, right? So what we're looking for is all the intangibles. Are you passionate? Are you motivated? How are you doing in school? And one thing that I look for specifically is how, again, going back to the resume, is how do you stand out? Do you, because we get hundreds, if not thousands of resumes each year. And if everyone is taking the exact same courses, getting really top grades, it's hard to differentiate. So when I see stuff like students working on the side, students working on a project, doing community service, writing code for a project that they were passionate about, those are the things that stand out to me. So definitely highlight those in your interviews, in your resume, etc. So that's what we're looking for. And on the slide there, it says, well-rounded engineers. We don't expect you to have all the experience in the world because you're going through school, right? But understand what front end is versus back end, what full stack is, and get a sense of who you are and what you want to do. And well-rounded being, right now, it should be anything, right? Because you shouldn't have a preference, but maybe you do. But that's the well-rounded part that we're looking for. Now put diverse backgrounds on there. I know this is a diversity event, but when I refer to diverse backgrounds, I'm looking at students who have multiple interests. Maybe coding is not the only thing that you're into. Maybe it's design, maybe it's business, IT, art, whatever it is. In addition to your coding skills, That's where the left brain, right brain starts happening. And that's those are the kind of students that we're looking for, that understand that it takes more than just someone who sits behind a computer and codes all day. Now I'm going to brush through really quick what a day in the life of an engineering intern is. So as a software engineering intern, you're not just an intern. We're not going to throw you into a 3-month project and hope for the best, and then check back with you in 3 months. You're going to be part of the team. I think Dave touched on this a little bit. You're going to be part of the team. You're going to unfortunately work on everything, fortunately and unfortunately, because you're going to be working on stuff that's not so sexy all the time, right? You're going to be working on new features, which is awesome and fun, but then you're going to have to do bug fixes. You're going to have to do documentation. You're going to have to do code reviews, stuff that might not be as exciting, but it's the life of a software engineer, and that's what we want to do for you. And the last line there, make it or break you. I tease about that a little bit, but it's true. My goal and how I measure a successful internship is either we make you or break you. Make you, and hopefully you love being a software engineer, and that's what you want to do for the rest of your life. Or break you. We introduce you to what software engineering really is, and it's not for you, and you go and change your major. I think you're at the right point in your careers to be able to do that. I don't find pleasure in breaking you, but that's the whole the point of it, right? And making you, if this is what you want to do for the rest of your life, perfect. That's you come back for the next year, or you get an offer, and ServiceNow is your home for the next few years. It'd be the disservice to us if we gave you a fun project to work on by yourself for 3 months, patted you on the back, and made you think that that is what software engineering is like. And then you get hired on board, and then we make you do documentation. We have you work with a team, have you do requirements, and you don't like it. Now you're kind of stuck, right? So that's what I get. That's what I mean by make you or break you. So again, that's engineering internship. It's relatively similar across the board with all of our interns. And I'm a part of all those hiring processes. So again, join me in Breakout Room 2 if you have any other more questions. But yeah, I'll hand it back to you, Will.
Thanks, Tony. And a quick question. So if I'm an intern, right, and coincidentally, I was a software engineering intern at one point in time. So I'm always curious. So if I'm an intern, what software programming languages does ServiceNow utilize on the internships?
We start off with, my org does a lot of JavaScript. We have other internships that use Java, and then we have a whole slew of databases as well. So that it's kind of goes back to my well-rounded engineers. We don't expect you to have that knowledge. We want to nurture that and help you grow in that in the language. We don't want a great JavaScript software engineer. We want a great engineer, right? So being well-rounded. Don't worry if you have Python experience and we're looking for JavaScript. A lot of this translates, but it goes back to my intangibles. If you're passionate and intelligent and motivated, you can do anything.
Excellent. So again, it sounds like a great opportunity. So for all the students that are out there listening, if you're looking for an internship this summer, then you want to go somewhere where you can not only get paid for an internship, but you also want to learn. So it sounds like to me, ServiceNow is a great place to go and learn, and also stretch, right? So you don't want to always go into a place where you know everything. You want to go into a place where you can learn different things and expand your experience, get some great things on your resume, and potentially land a full-time job with a great company after you graduate. So
hey, Will, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I want to double click on some. Our CEO gave a speech the other day to the company, and he talks about picking 9s and 10s, right? And what I get from what he's saying, 9s and 10s, we're talking about having the right attitude, the mindset, the hunger, because no matter what we place in front of you, your work ethic was going to set you apart. And that's what, so guys, don't look at this and say, oh my God, I may not know this, but go into the right mindset of saying, those are people we want at ServiceNow, because that's how we become, just continue to stay on a rocket ship. So great job, Tony. I just want to make sure I iterated what Bill was talking about the other day. So back to you.
Excellent. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Tony. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to our next speaker, who is Patrick Lowndes, Senior Principal Product Manager. And Patrick is going to speak to the internship experience as well and product management. Patrick, if you're ready.
Yeah, that's great. I'm in Seattle, and we do have an office here. It actually was just newly remodeled, but we haven't been back to it since the remodel was finished for the last year. I will give just real quick, I got into ServiceNow through a little different path. I did not apply for a job. I was actually an entrepreneur running a software company, a startup here in Seattle. And a glamorous version of the story is we made a bunch of companies interested, and we got acquired by the best one, which is ServiceNow. The reality was our startup was struggling, and we were trying to think about, should we dilute ourselves, crazy dilution, and really hurt ourselves, or should we just, and raise more money, or should we do, should we try to get bought? And that's actually what was going on. So I was in the thick of the startup grind, and ServiceNow came along. And so I'm sharing about that so you guys can hear some of the real raw side of what it's like being in the tech industry sometimes, if any of you thought about entrepreneurship or starting a company at some point. But I am non-technical. So all of you people out there that can't code and hardly spell HTML, that's me. And so I'll be able to chat with you a little bit about my perspective in the product management seat, which can get very technical. Some developers do end up in product management, but a lot of people that are really good in this role are kind of like mini CEOs who are really good with understanding the customer problem. You care a lot about customers. You're really interested in networking across all the different facets of the business. There's probably 10 or 12 different teams that I interface with every week. So it's like in the program management side of things, but even closer to the customers and partners themselves. So that's a little bit more about product management. And you do build up your technical vocabulary a little bit, but I want to talk to you a little bit about the internship experience. What is it like being an intern? And we had a couple interns on our team here in Seattle a couple summers ago, and they did a great job. They were both in the engineering spot. But the thing I want to just talk about is three things: is what is it like being an intern? How do you deal with the team? And what is your overall posture towards the internship? And so I've got to start with this thing on the very first bullet point about understanding customers. Probably the best way to waste time in a software company in the tech industry is do not talk to customers. Build whatever you think is a good idea, and then hope that people use it. That's a great way to waste your time. So I share that because understanding customers is really, really important, regardless of which position you're in. And so in product management, oftentimes we are the voice of the customer. So when we see something that's being built and it's just some idea that someone has, we usually like to say, well, which customer has asked you about that recently? Or can I see some customer feedback on that? Or did you get any feedback? Or are you just moving forward with it? So there's a lot of understanding what the real problems are, asking questions. So as an intern, you want to think about, how am I being observant when I step into this role, whatever type of position is it? And you're asking yourself, what are the different kinds of things I see the team doing? Okay, there's stand-ups. There's people that check in with their mentors or their managers and do one-on-ones. There's team events. Different roles are going to have different things that you have to get good at. And so just being really observant about the operations and the processes around you probably differ a little bit from company to company, but taking note of what a large scale a company like ServiceNow is doing is really informative and instructive to your career. And so that's one thing, is just be really observant about the customer problem that you're solving and how you're solving it. The second point about team experience. So this is if any of you have, again, the comment was made earlier about being in group projects, pay attention to how your teams are operating. You might notice some people collaborate a lot on stuff and they like to communicate. They like some interruptions. Some other people might be like, stay away from me, I'm in my zone. Sometimes they call it my flow. Stop messing up my flow, right? So in this case, you want to be really observant of how is my team working together and how can I be additive to it. And this kind of gets into that question about the second bullet when they're asking questions to learn. How are you, you might have heard the term managing up, right? So if I'm going to be managing up, if you don't have a really well-defined project, or let's say you've got some part of your project down, but you think there's room for more. One of the things I love about ServiceNow is it's a lot of people here that are open to new ideas. And as an entrepreneur, I came in with a lot of opinions about how to build products. And granted, it was a small company that I had really nothing impressive there, but the culture here is such that you should ask questions. We expect interns to push the envelope and to create new ideas. And so if you're not, if you don't feel like you're being challenged, you should raise your voice. Say, hey, what about this? Can I learn a little bit more about this? So you can kind of crank up the heat of how much you want to learn and how much you want to be stretched as well. Engaging personally and celebrating team wins. We're really big here at ServiceNow on not just getting in here and focusing and doing, we're not all business all the time. So I'd encourage you to get to know your team members. Sometimes if you're a freshman, sophomore, and you're listening to this, you might have 2 or 3 internships before you get hired. So building relationships, making connections, like on LinkedIn or something is really helpful in trying to find out who's on your team. And then I'd say overall, beginning with the end in mind, you're going to hear this a lot in the first couple conversations, but it would be the worst thing for you in your first week of a 12-week internship to realize, gosh, this thing is not this is not at all what I cared about. It's not at all what I was interested in doing. So try yourself. You should be interviewing us just as much as we are interviewing you, making sure that you're trying to make sure that you're aligning yourself with an internship that's going to hit on the things that you care about, the ways that you want to be challenged. And then finally, that last point about thinking like an entrepreneur. You don't just show up here at ServiceNow and just check boxes. When you're here, a great way to help yourself stand out is to think like an entrepreneur. They're usually pushing the limits. They're asking the question, why are we doing it that way? Or can you tell me more about how we got here? They're very inquisitive. And so I encourage you, be very inquisitive. That usually is going to signal that you've got a growth mindset and that you're moldable, but also you like to help shape where things are headed. So those are just some encouraging points. Hopefully that gives you a little bit more of an idea. And again, in product management, I'm going to be in breakout room number 1. And we're going to talk about things that are going to be more related to what is it like dealing with UX and managing, product roadmaps and talking with customers and running customer advisory councils and dealing with legal and large scale enterprise operations. So if any of those things sound interesting and you're in the MBA program, even you're thinking about how can I, learn more about managing a product line or something, product marketing, those are all things that there's a lot of things that fall into that bucket. So I'm happy to give you some ideas in the breakout room, and I'll be in room number 1.
Excellent. Thank you, Patrick. I've noticed there's a lot of candidates here that maybe have MBA experience, and they're not necessarily coders. So Patrick will be, like you said, in breakout room number 1. But for all of those that are asking questions about which breakout room to go to, or who will be in which breakout room, on the last part of the presentation, will give you who will be in what room. So you'll be able to go into the breakout rooms at that point in time. And then we'll also not only explain who's in which room, so you know which room to go into, but then also sort of what their roles and responsibilities are, so you know what to expect. So for all of you that have been asking that question, we'll handle that towards the end of the presentation. Okay, so thanks, Patrick. With that being said, I'll go on to introduce our next speaker. So our next speaker is Edwin Coronado, senior software engineer. And Edwin is going to speak to the journey from an internship to a full-time employee. Edwin, if you're ready.
Yeah. Hey guys. So my name is Edwin. Like Will was saying, I started off as an intern. Similarly to Patrick, I was brought in as part of an acquisition. So my journey started with a different ServiceNow partner called Intreis. They specialized in a application for GRC, and they got acquired by ServiceNow. So that's how I got my foot into ServiceNow. That was about 6 years ago. So it's been a while. I believe I'm one of the longest serving interns. I was an intern for 3.5 years because I was still in school. My first major was actually criminal justice. I wanted to be an attorney. I'm Latino, I'm Mexican, so we're very opinionated and we're strong-willed. So I thought it was gonna be a good career. And halfway through it, I had this inkling towards coding and technology in general, and I decided to add a second major, which was computer engineering. So I was in school for 7.5 years. So if you guys have been there for a while, don't give up. It gets better, and it's definitely worth it. And I think switching or adding that major was one of the best decisions of my life. I think I was already very interested in technology, and you're probably all too young, but back in the MySpace days, I got super into writing HTML and CSS and making my profile look crazy. So it was a natural inclination towards it. I got into ServiceNow, and as you see, my first point is it's good to know where you want to go, but you have to be open to new experiences, because school doesn't really paint a good picture of what software engineering is in general. You heard Patrick talk about PM and Chris too. There's a lot of things more than just coding, right? So when I first came into ServiceNow as part of the acquisition, there was really no intern program. I think there was about 4 or 5 interns in San Diego. From what I heard, I think just last summer we had over 100 and something just in San Diego, which is crazy. So I started off with professional services implementing the tool, right? So when customers buy our software, we have to modify it to fit their needs. So I work directly with customers in modifying and building to all the business rules and all the implementation for their specific use case of the ServiceNow platform. Once that ended, I kind of had to find my own job after that inside the company. So I moved into application development. So think about ServiceNow as sort of like an operating system or a platform where you can build applications on top of it, right? So I moved into an application development team where we developed and maintained internal tools for just our employees. And then that ended as well. So I had to move into a different role, and I found through another friend that was already interning too, the quality engineering world. And it's a lot of people are discouraged from quality engineering. A lot of people hear that in school, and they think it's well, it's lesser than development, right? But honestly, it's just as important as development, and it covers more than you think so. So I really got into performance engineering there. It's something that, again, I was never taught in school. You're really not taught the big picture. And I think quality engineering gave me a really good idea on how everything connects from the big picture. And I got to work with Walmart and Disney and big customers that we even went on site to help them do performance testing and analytics, mitigate, what happens if we have 100,000 people come into the instance in less than an hour? Can we support that? what do you look at? Do you look at the DB? Do you look at the app? So it really exposed me to something that I had no idea about, and I really enjoyed it, and I really got into it. And it's coming in with that mindset that you might find something that you didn't necessarily know even existed, and you become good at it, right? One of the things that I find, like, it's kind of funny that, like, now, especially bachelor graduates, the first thing they want to do is machine learning and AI, right? And that's a very small part of software engineering. Like, don't bucket yourself in too soon. I really like what Tony was saying, is like, be a well-rounded engineer before you are like a specific type of engineer, right? There are people that are just like really good with compilers or really good with databases, but it's good for you to first be a good overall. I think I got muted for a second. I'm moving on to my second point. One of the, like, probably the most common question is like, what's the difference between school and the real world, or like being an intern and being a full-time employee, right? I think the school versus the real world is that in school, you really just work on like your project yourself, and like this, I'm gonna write this 5 Java classes, and I'm gonna extend this class and this and that, I'm gonna turn it in, right? And you don't think about testing it. You don't think about how it plugs in with anything else. You don't think about how do you deploy this, right? So the biggest difference between school and full-time and the real world, let's say, it's everything outside just coding, right? How does your code get out to the real world, to customers? How do you interact with other teams? How do you have it built nightly, and how do you check it into your repo? And there's much more to it. It's like coding is just the very core of it, and then there's all these cogwheels and machines running around it that produce the actual software, right? That's real software engineering. So coding is not just, it's only a small part of software engineering, right? Then the biggest difference between being an intern and full-time employee, I think, to me, it's the mindset. I think at ServiceNow, we treat interns exactly as we treat full-time employees. Like, I expect the same from you, and I'm also going to give you the same amount of like attention and respect, and your opinions matter, because we want to expose you to something that's real. Something that Tony was saying is like, what's the use of in giving you this really fancy, shining product to work with for 3 months if it doesn't add value to the platform or your team? Or if at the end of it, you come to the real world and then you're like, oh, this is nothing like I expected, right? So the biggest difference is yourself. It's your mindset. It's how you treat it, right? You just literally switch your hat and you're like, now I'm full-time, but you're doing the same thing. We expect the same thing from you. You might get more responsibility, but also because now you're here 40 hours a week, right? Now we can depend on you a little more because you're here, but we're gonna treat you the same. And it's up to you how serious you wanna take it, right? So if you treat your internship as serious from the start, rolling into a full-time employee is gonna be easy. It's just a title change. It really doesn't impact that much. I think the other question that I get a lot is like, how do you stand out, right? Like, you guys, especially if you guys are going to like the same school, let's say you guys have exactly the same coursework, right? Things that make you stand out is like, what do you do outside your classes, right? Do you have a cool app that you can show me? Before COVID, and when we used to go out to schools, it'd be awesome when someone came to me with their phone and they're like, check this out, I built this. To me, like, yeah, your resume is important, but at that moment, I'm way more interested in what you're building, right? I'm way more interested in like, let me see your app. What does it do? What did you use for a database? What did you use for communicating to REST and stuff like that? I think that's really something that helps you stand out prior to coming in. Once you're inside ServiceNow, what can help you stand out is not boxing yourself in your job title, right? Maybe you came in as a quality engineering intern or as a software development intern, but you're interested in design and you're interested in like research and for UX, right? Don't be afraid to speak up to your manager that you're interested in that, or you yourself going and doing something with it. Nobody's going to stop you. We encourage you to do your work, but also if you're interested in something, go ahead and reach out to the people from those teams and do something there. Another thing is find problems that are like already accepted in your team, right? Maybe your team has been doing something manually for 2 years and it's just like, oh, this is just how we do it, you know? Maybe you can automate that. Take that as like little homework, go ahead and do it, and then come back and be like, hey guys, I actually identified this problem and solved it this way, right? That shows that you have initiative and that you can solve problems and you can identify problems, which is really good. Then the big one, imposter syndrome, right? How do you deal with that? I think every engineer, intern or full-time, we all deal with it. You never feel like you know everything because you can never, it's impossible to know everything. So just remember that you are here for a reason. That's the first thing. We sought you out and we brought you in because we know that you can do it. So we're not setting you up for failure, we're setting you up for success. And the second most important thing is don't compare yourself with others. Like make sure that you compare yourself to what you were a week ago, a month ago. You don't compare yourself against others because everybody has different qualities and everybody learns at a different pace. And just trust the process. Trust that we brought you in for a reason. Something that Tony was saying too is like the intangibles, right? The soft skills, right? So technical skills are gonna get you the job. They're for sure gonna get you the job. They might get you the promotion. But how you make a name for yourself and how people will respect your decisions and what you write as a software engineer and your architecture designs and everything is your soft skills, right? That's what's gonna help you advance your career. Can you communicate, right? Do you have perseverance? Are you resourceful? Can you unblock yourself? Are you afraid to reach out to other teams, or are you assertive and you're like, no, this is what I think, but you can listen to other people, being a good team player, all those things that are soft skills will help you advance your career, right? And the last part is hard work, right? Like nothing beats like doing the work, right? There's no point in having a Michael Jordan on the bench, right? Like he was doing the work. He became the greatest because he was doing the work and he had the talent, but it doesn't matter if you don't put in the hard work. And it's gonna show your character and it's gonna show you who you are. And in the process, something that Tony also said is you're gonna discover if you enjoy it or not. And if you don't like this, don't do it, you know? An internship is a great point for you to decide if you really want to be doing this and if you really enjoy it. And lastly, nobody's going to care more about your career than yourself. So make sure you knock doors, make sure you network, make sure you add people on LinkedIn, and you ask around the company because that's going to open doors for you and nobody's going to care more about it than yourself. So I think that's all from my side, and kicking it back to you, Will.
Excellent. And sorry about the mute. I was actually trying to admit someone.
No problem. No problem.
Okay. So thanks, Edwin. You'll be in breakout room number
2.
Okay.
Yes.
So Tony and Edwin will be in breakout room number 2 once we get to that point in the agenda. So we're not quite yet ready to go into the breakout rooms. We have a few more details that we like to share about the program. So I'm going to hand it back to Chris. So Chris, if you're ready to speak to eligibility.
Yes, man. All right, there we go. Before when we talk about this at the end, I want to get a group picture with everyone. So before we do the breakout rooms, I would love to
have everybody turn their cameras on.
Yeah,
Okay.
Allison take the picture for me.
Okay.
And I also got Javier on here. Javier's been here with us with the company for 3 years, and he may jump in and add something that I missed. But as you guys see here, the summer intern eligibility, it's a 12-week program. We have 2, I guess, session 1, session 2. The first session will start in May and end in August. The second one started in June and end in September. And like I say, you guys, everybody's going to tell you about the breakout room and about the different pays. Of course, we don't want to get into pay, but it is paid internship. It is a housing stipend, also meal plan, all that. Oh, Will, next slide, please.
Yep.
Next slide for me. I'm
Sure.
sorry. Yeah, I'm talking without the slide. Like I say, professional development. That's something we have activities for you. We have team building exercise that we do. You get swag. Oh, next slide, please.
Yep.
I really want to get into the breakout room like the students do. Like it's good to hear me talk. Like I said, as you guys see, we have 401k matching, pay holidays. You also get a meal allowance also. And then also mentorship. So you have opportunity to mentor, network within the people in other department, like Edwin mentioned earlier. So very exciting. Javier, do you want to jump in and say anything that I might have missed or high level?
I think at the high level, hey everybody, my name is Javier. I've been here almost 2.5 years, and I've supported recruiting for internships in the past early on. Hi Katrina, I see your message out there. No, I think you covered most of it, Chris. I think as far as location-wise, we're still intending on having the internships be digital because of COVID during the pandemic. So if anything changes, though, we will notify you all if it will be a physical location. But I don't foresee it anytime soon being physical. It may be hybrid. We never know. There might be an opportunity for events. So be more on the lookout for that. And then, yeah, I think you pretty much got it. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, I like, so what Javier mentioned is critical. Is our headquarters based in Santa Clara, our second office in San Diego. It's virtual. So wherever you are, if you're in Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Maryland, wherever you are, Atlanta, you can stay at your home, mom house, grandma house, wherever you are. So you just need good Wi-Fi. That's all we need. And I need everybody to turn on your cameras. I'm going to Instagram you guys because I'm a social media guy. I need to put this on my IG to let everybody know I'm working. My boss tell me if we don't have no picture, it didn't happen. So we got to get this quick photo.
And maybe Will, if you don't mind stopping sharing so we can see the.
Oh
I'm still stuck
Everybody?
on this meal allowance thing, right? You guys, if I was an intern, you would have got me with that. All right, let me stop my sharing.
Thank you. So we can grab.
Yeah, do the screen grab. Oops, there we go. So
All
guys,
right.
we're gonna count down to 3. I'm getting my Snapchat on. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. Hey, ServiceNow, we working. Got a bunch of students up here looking at these opportunities over here with ServiceNow. Oh man, we got over 100 students on the call. I got some people that got their streams on. I need to turn them on for me. Oh yeah, but it's beautiful. Yes, sir. Will, I'm gonna let you have it. We're gonna get ready to go to our next session.
Yep.
Breakout.
Yep.
Oh, hold on one second. I'm sorry. Shake, you want to say anything before we go into the breakout room? Shake, my boss is on the call, so I want to give him an opportunity to say something.
No, you guys did an amazing job. I was just texting Chris and Austin and saying, from the first event we did to this one, we've gotten so much better, and the speakers that have joined us are now significantly better than anything I could do. So thank you. This is amazing. I'm looking forward to meeting more students and just looking forward to seeing you guys here this summer. That's what I'm really looking forward to. So thank you.
Oh, and also too, I did want to, that I kind of always tend to go over my head. I'm from the South, so we tend to dress up in suits and ties, but like me dressing wearing this polo is kind of considered dressing up in tech. So it's normally t-shirts, hoodies, Yeezys, you know what I'm saying? That's the culture here. So I just want to let you guys know, like, don't feel overwhelmed, but like here's like real laid back, get your job done. So yeah.
But if you have a suit, I want to talk to you.
Nice. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen one more time just to do some housekeeping, and then we'll go into the breakout rooms. So, so I wanted to share this slide. So for getting in touch, so you're going to have the chance to get your questions answered now in the breakout rooms because Chris and Allison, as well as the rest of the ServiceNow team, will be in the different breakout rooms. But just in case, you have Chris Rogers' contact information as well as Alice Whitlam right there. But then now everybody's been asking a lot of questions about the breakout rooms, and we've got about 20 minutes left for you guys to kind of engage. I'm sure probably some of the breakout rooms may go a little bit longer. So we'll keep the sessions open. But let me quickly, so we're obviously we're using Zoom. So Zoom has a breakout rooms feature, but the important thing is for you to understand who's going to be in what room. So you got to meet, some of the team. So in room 1 will be Patrick, David, and Chris Rogers. So Patrick and David spoke to like sort of the MBA internship opportunities in program management, product management, business operations, for example. So for those of you that are not so heavily inclined towards coding and the software engineering aspect, that will be room number 1 with Patrick, David, and Chris. Then in room number 2 will be Tony, Edwin, and then Allison. And so Tony and Edwin spoke to some of the software engineering opportunities. So I know we've got a lot of coders in here, a lot of students that are studying software engineering. So make sure you take the time to go ask questions and engage in breakout room number 2 with Tony, Edwin, and Allison, software engineering, UX, and UI design as well. And then breakout room number 3 will be sort of an overall, if you have general questions about the internship program, we'll have some representatives from diversity and inclusion and belonging and recruiting, and like I said, general questions. Jeremy, Brent, Javier, Jessica, and Ava will be there. And I know Jessica and Ava, I believe, were speaking to some different types of opportunities. So I don't know if you guys want to chime in, Jessica or Ava, on what some of the other opportunities are that don't fall into like the MBA and ops. And
yeah, I have sales internships. So you can click on to room 3 and learn a little bit more about what that actually entails, because a lot of people don't know, but I'm looking for marketing majors, management majors, business majors. And I also have something with the SE Academy. So my computer science, MIS majors, IT majors, please hop on 3 and I have some awesome opportunities to tell you about.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Ava. So, okay, so utilizing Zoom, just utilize the breakout rooms. So I'm going to ask the ServiceNow folks to go ahead and step into your assigned breakout rooms. Then what I'm also going to do is allow the candidates to leverage their audio and video. So let me stop my screen sharing for the moment.
Can I jump in real quick
Sure.
for Jessica? I think she didn't get an opportunity, but Jessica has IT internships. So if y'all are interested in the more of the IT side of the house, Jessica will have more information specifically for IT. And then for me, Javier, this is Javier. I will have MBA new grad internship. So basically, if you're graduating from your MBA program, recently graduated or about to graduate from your MBA program, I can speak on that. And then on the group 1, breakout room 1, if you're for MBA internship specifically, Patrick can speak a little bit more about that. So just wanted to clarify there.
Excellent. So, okay, so you have breakout room number 1, number 2, and number 3. Everybody should be able to utilize Zoom to jump into the breakout sessions, starting with the ServiceNow folks for sure. Okay, so thank you, everyone. I'm going to hang around here in the main Zoom, main window in case anybody has any questions. I can direct you to the appropriate breakout room. So I'll be monitoring the chat, but also you guys should be able to unmute yourselves as well once you get into the breakout session to ask questions and engage. So thank you. Let's do it.
I have a question.
Sure.
All right, so I know you would you was explaining the different breakout rooms or whatnot.
Yep.
Now I think it's like so many different opportunities, like great opportunities. So I feel as though it's like some breakout rooms I want to like join, but I also want to join another breakout room.
Sure.
How do I do that?
Yeah.
How would I just?
I would just say prioritize it for whichever group you want to speak to first. Just jump in there and engage. But then you also can change. So you can come back here and then go to the other breakout session as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Hi, I have a quick question.
Sure.
So I'm a grad student, specifically I'm a JD candidate, and I've heard so many great majors and opportunities for those majors, but I haven't heard anything for mine. I suppose is that because you all don't have those opportunities? I wanted to know before I hopped in the breakout room,
So
Do I have anything? Go ahead.
yeah, I would recommend either breakout room number 1, or for sure, if you want to ask that question, the right place to ask that question would be in room number 3.
3?
Yep.
Well, it looks like the maximum for each breakout room is only 20 people. I can't join one of the breakout rooms. Let me try again.
Yeah, I'm having trouble myself.
Yeah, I can't get in either.
Yeah,
Like, you
I'm
just
not
click
able
on
to
the-
join.
Is this, are we running up against the Zoom limitation?
'cause, yeah, I clicked on it and I was like, am I having a user error? Because it's not giving me an option to get in.
So let me do one thing. Here's what I'll do. I'll create another breakout session, another breakout room. So let's see.
Hey, Raj, I think there was an option where it says how long the breakout rooms are supposed to last, possibly.
Yeah, I didn't turn that on. But there may be a limitation on how many people can jump in a room. So let me create another room. Actually, it's not, I guess we can't create the room on the fly. So are there any ServiceNow folks in this main room?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, and you're not able to get
Yeah.
into the.
Yeah, I wasn't able. I
Okay,
can stay here.
So let's use this as the default room then, because I didn't realize that there was a limitation on the number of people that can join a room. So we have Allison here, who's on the HR team and overall.
Or BizOps, yeah. I'm on the
BizOps.
BizOps for platform engineering.
Do we have any other ServiceNow folks in this room?
Yeah, looks like we have Brent.
So, okay, so whoever could not get into one of the breakout rooms, feel free to ask questions here. We do have representation from ServiceNow here in this main room, so.
Yeah, I have a question.
Sure.
So I'm Anton Goldsmith. I'm a junior electrical engineering major at Hampton University.
Great school.
Yes, so
that's #1 school.
Thanks, man. So for me, my question was about the product management, but in the position as, I believe it was solutions consultant that I believe you guys have. I saw that on the video for meeting interns because, like I said, I'm an electrical engineer, so I don't do a lot of coding. I think I only took one intro to programming class, and then everything else I know, I taught myself over winter break. And I've learned Python. I'm currently learning Java in terms of their syntaxes. So I was wondering if there would be any positions for someone like me who would be more so good at knowing what to do, but not always knowing how to code it into the computer. Because when I'm doing coding, I always know how to solve the problem by hand, but it's really when it gets to the software part of it, like typing it into the computer, that's where like the disconnect sometimes happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can speak to that. I mean, definitely there's project management positions. There's product management positions where you have to have that technical know-how, but you're not quote coding every day.
Right.
So there definitely probably be some opportunities for you. So, Awesome. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, apply where your interest lies, I guess, your interest in your technical skills. For engineering, for example, we've had students in the past who are doing engineering but dual degrees with, like, for example, design. So we've been able to accommodate that where they've been working, they've got to also work with our design team. But if you have like a primary skill set that you want to develop further and that's where your interest lies, I would encourage you to focus on that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I was going to say, you mentioned that Python. I think that's great because a lot of the software engineering recs that I've worked, that's a basis. Like if you have Python or you have Java, JavaScript, everybody's looking for that, right? There may be other languages that they want you to have, but those are kind of base languages. If you have that, employers get excited. So
Yeah, well, I was looking at programs to learn, like programming languages to learn. Those were the top three. So after I finished doing Java, I was gonna go with JavaScript next.
Okay. I guess what do you enjoy about engineering? Like what gets you excited about going into engineering?
So for me, I've always just loved technology. I mean, even as a kid, I don't play video games as much now, but I definitely used to a lot. I like phones, computers, tablets, that sort of thing. So well, first using them all the time was something I always like to do. But as I got older, and I'm really good at math and science, I've always been good in those classes in high
Okay.
school, which made me want to pick that for college. It made me learn why things work. So even when I'm doing things like working, because right now I work a part-time job at Food Line, right? So I use a cash register, and even while I'm using the register, I'll do like mental math in my head of what the change will be before I even look at the screen to see how much it is. Using the point of sale system, I'm thinking to myself how the coding would work for me to even press all the buttons that I'm pressing right now to use. So having that knowledge of knowing how things work and just having the interest to want to know that knowledge of how and why things work is what made me want to be an engineer.
Yeah, no, that's definitely some higher thinking, right? Like if you like to, I have friends that are engineers and they'll call me when something breaks and I'll say congratulations. And they'll go, what? And I was like their computer's broken. I said, because what they're going to do is they're going to tear it apart. They're going to rebuild it and make it better, right? I mean, 'cause that's what engineers do, right? So they get excited about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can tell you just kind of my personal story. So I've been recruiting a long time. I'm not an engineer. I try to find engineers. That's what recruiters do, right? Um, but I have a lot of friends that are engineers, and I've worked for companies like IBM. I've worked for Cisco. I worked for Nike for a while, and this has been one of my favorite places to be. Like of all the companies I work for, we have some amazing people that work here, amazing engineers. Everybody brings something to the table, and there's just awesome people to work with here. And again, it's my favorite place ever to work. And I've been doing this a while. So I think I definitely think you're in the right place.
Okay.
You definitely chose the right school.
Is that where you went?
Yeah, I went to Hampton.
Great school, man. Great school.
My home by the sea.
That's right. Love it here, man. It was sad we had to evacuate, but of course it was for them.
I feel
Where's Hampton located?
on the East Coast of Virginia.
Oh, nice.
In Hampton, Virginia.
Yep, Hampton, Virginia.
I almost went to Hampton.
I used to
Didn't
go
go.
there for a little bit.
Katrina,
Yeah, almost went to Hampton.
are you a current student or?
Yeah.
No, I'm ServiceNow employee.
Oh, okay.
He's undercover.
I'm looking at your background.
I'm hiding in
I want to be there. What location?
San
are you at?
Diego. This
San Diego
is
looks
San
nice.
Diego, guys. Yeah, it's really nice. It was like 80 degrees and sunny today. I'm in the backyard because my husband's in the office being loud.
Nice. Yeah, San Diego is amazing weather. I like it there. So
We love it. We'll be here for a while. I heard someone say something about solutions consulting, and I just wanted to jump in and say that I work with them a lot in training in my role.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So the solutions consultants that I work with do a lot as far as like helping customers kind of figure out the product to match their need and things like that. And all the ones that I know are really, really happy to do it. They really like it. It's kind of really exciting for them. They're technical in the sense that they know ServiceNow, but I don't know a lot of them that are actually like coding. You don't actually have to do that when you're a solutions consultant. You don't need to know like what's under the covers, but you got to know ServiceNow like really well so that you can recommend products and solutions to customers. So they seem to really enjoy it.
Okay.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you. Are there any other folks that are not? Is that Andre?
Yeah, this is Andre. I'm trying to get into breakout room number 1. I'm completing my MBA. I'm really looking to try and get a little more exposure, some guidance, and how I can really put my experience to use. So I don't see the option at the bottom of my tab, but I don't know if maybe you can assign me.
Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I don't have it as either as well. This is Cassandra, me either.
I had the same problem.
You don't see the option for the breakout rooms?
No,
No.
It's not there at all.
Try to if you're on a computer, try to expand the size of the window and then it might show out, or click on more. Like if you see more, and then see if you see breakout rooms there.
That's what I thought would come up, but it's not coming up.
Yeah, I'm seeing a white space, and at the bottom it says broadcast message to all, close all rooms, but there's no rooms listed.
There's no breakout room option.
No.
Yeah, there was in the beginning, and I was clicking, and it didn't work.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research while we were speaking here. I didn't see a limitation on the breakout rooms, but if you guys have specific questions, I'm sure maybe between Katrina, Allison, and Brent, they might have some answers related to those opportunities. So Andre, did you have a specific question you wanted to ask?
Well, I guess my question would, I have experience in accounting, and I've been in the nonprofit sector for 5 years now. I am completing my MBA at Fayetteville State University, and I'm also located in New York City. So one question I did have, which was answered, I saw that the location is in California. I wanted to know, how could I go about seeking an opportunity located in New York as well? Would I be able to join a team, although it is remote?
So I can speak to it. So I do work on financial recs. I do G&A. With us, it depends. Like there's some groups that are open to remote, and there's some that are not. I mean, we're all remote right now with COVID going on. But once we go back to the office again, I'd say it depends on the group. So we do have organizations that are open to it, and some want you to be in the office. So,
Andre, are you looking for an internship, or are you getting ready to graduate?
I am getting ready to graduate in December.
Okay.
I'm open to an internship, based on ServiceNow, the growth. I think that there could be a large potential for growth within my career. So that is something I'm willing to take. Yep. Personally, I did see that Ava said that they're consistently looking to hire full-time. Ultimately, I would like to go into a full-time role, considering that I do have responsibilities such as a home right now, but at the end of the day, the best investment you can make is on yourself. So sometimes, no risk, no reward, or something along those lines. So at least to get an understanding of what the work that I will be doing and making a name for myself as well.
Yeah, so I think you're in the right time frame for potential internship. The internships are paid, and then I think the goal of the internship is that if there's a fit, you like the company, you do good work at the company, then I'm sure the company, ServiceNow is looking to hire folks as the ROI on the internship. So I would consider this a real opportunity for you, considering when you graduate.
Yeah, and my last statement that I have to make is, so now that we're having the breakouts, like how do we proceed going forward? And I know we're just having general questions, but how do we proceed to move forward from here to
to the next step?
Chris, you're muted. Chris, you're muted. I know he's trying to talk.
Oh yeah, my bad. So two things I would say, right? The next step would be to apply for a role, right? Apply for the role. Reach out to myself or one of the speakers to let us know you apply for a role. And then that way, there's no guarantee, but like by you coming here, showing initiative, just kind of see where you fit in at. And then also too, at ServiceNow, we pride ourselves on trusting our process. It's super competitive to get in here, but once you get in here, our conversion rate is over 50%. So you come in here and put in the sweat equity, you like the team, everything's go well. It's a good chance that everything turns to full time. So like, don't let that discourage you. Just whatever, if you get in with us, it's a great opportunity. Come in, work your tail off, and everything should go the right way. Yeah. And, so you're an MBA student, you very, you understand what's going on. I'm quite sure you had other internships before, but I think this is the right opportunity for you to apply for with us.
Thank you, and I will do. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, and Andre, do me a favor. Look me up on LinkedIn, and I can look into some full-time opportunities for you also. So you can kind of go both directions. Look at internships and also look at full-time.
Absolutely, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
That's why you come to these HBCU CONNECT events, man.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Brent. Thanks, Chris. Did anybody else have any general questions?
Yeah, this is Cassandra Jones, and I'm kind of remote also. I'm kind of in the same bucket as the young gentleman there. I am actually in the workforce. I'm a Jackson State alumni, and I am looking at program and project management. I do have a Scrum Master Agile. For the last 2 years, I was more of an Agile project manager / Scrum Master, and kind of moved over into program management. My company went through a reorganization, so I'm kind of looking now at opportunities, and I'm really looking at the culture of the companies at this point. Really looking for opportunity to grow and strong companies. So would it be best to apply on your site or through LinkedIn for opportunities? And are you looking for project or program management opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. We do. We look for project managers, program managers. If you're looking for full-time roles, I definitely would go look at our site. And if you have that Scrum background, I know that means you have some of that technology background. You definitely, I think you'd be somebody, at least somebody of interest or in the wheelhouse of what we look for.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm certified. I'm a certified Scrum Master.
Nice.
And I'm working on the PMP. So after PMP, then I'm moving over to the Masters. So I'm keeping it rolling. So I would definitely try to reach out to all of you guys. Thank you.
No, definitely. So like I said, like I just told them, if you see a role that's because I just full disclosure, like in the engineering department that I sit on, we're looking to hire over 600 people in the next year. So we're going to be hiring a lot. So maybe quarter two, but heading quarter 2 and quarter 3. Please be looking on our website, and if you see a role that you want to apply to, just let us know you applied. Like follow us on LinkedIn. Hey, Chris, went to your event, apply for the role. And then we can't give you no guarantees, and say, hey, this might be the hiring manager or the recruiter that you need to talk to kind of get you in the right direction to at least try to circumvent you a little bit.
Okay, thank you. It was great hearing more about the company because I've used the software for years. I have not been to a company where I have not used ServiceNow. So
nice.
So I've seen it through, how it's progressed and moved along. So it was just interesting to hear the other companies that are also using
Yes, ma'am.
your software. So I definitely will reach out to you guys and check your job board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for joining us.
Anyone else? We're out here to just whatever question you may have. There's no dumb question with us. So
Yamil.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jamil Perez. I'm a software engineer at Lehman College University, and I just graduated last year, December. And I would like to know, if you have any opportunity for new grant for software developer.
Oh, sure. Software engineers for sure.
Yeah, we have a lot. What are your languages? Like, what do you code in and that kind of thing?
I have some experience in web developer, web, and in Java. That's my first language.
Do you have a GitHub account?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, those things we look at the GitHub account. So if you have that, like I said, I definitely think you should try to apply and then ping one of us and let us know on LinkedIn. Hey, I was at the HBCU CONNECT event. I applied for this role. It would just help us kind of, know what you applied for if you came to our event.
And Chris, you provided your email also, right? At the beginning.
Yes, sir. And yes, sir. But then Brent, you gonna drop yours in the group?
Yeah, I can give you if you see my name on the screen, it's Brent.Rogers@ServiceNow.com. Again, Brent.Rogers@ServiceNow.com. And you can see it's spelled ROGERS. It's not spelled like Aaron Rodgers. He spells his name wrong. He's a good quarterback, but he spells it wrong. I'm a Cowboy fan. You got to know that, right? So
go Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah, love it.
So
Brent, are you also have any openings for any full-time positions as well? Would I be? I'm an MBA student at University of Maryland.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So I mean, on my normal job, I'm looking for people in finance, and I'm looking for people in marketing. And then I'm also helping with college roles, looking for people with computer science backgrounds. So yeah, I could definitely, if you're an MBA, you want to send me your resume and what you're looking for or what your interests are, I could definitely help you out.
When do you graduate, Aaron?
Next year. So December 2020-ish. Well, 2022, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfect range for a potential internship as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm open to anything. So it's like I can do full-time or internship. So just going with the flow now.
Yeah, so I'll get with Chris and Allison if you guys want to give me like a list of requisitions, and I can email the instructions for people to go and apply. But also for everybody that's on still and kind of listening, if you register through our website or you spoke to one of my recruiters or one of my team members about the event, then we should have your resume, and then we're going to share the resume with the team at ServiceNow. So I'm sure that they might reach out to some candidates as well, but then I'll work with Chris and Allison for requisitions where you guys can apply.
Yeah, and I was just going to add to that. Well, yeah, we received a list in advance of, everyone who had registered with resumes. But if you didn't already provide your resume and your name and information to Will, like make sure that he gets that, because he's going to be sending that to us, and we're going to coordinate a follow-up communication from that list.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Ashanti Terry. I was really about to ask about that because I got the phone call yesterday to make sure I was going to attend the event.
From one of my recruiters?
Yes, I got the
Nani.
context from Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to just ask about that, but I just answered what I was wondering.
Yeah, so I'll send out a follow-up communication because like for every event, like my team, we market to everybody that's already in our database. Then we reach out to some of you guys that maybe never heard of us. We'll find you wherever you are, LinkedIn, Indeed, wherever, and invite you to our events. And then it's my job to make sure we communicate. So that's why I want to have my recruiters give you a call to make sure you guys came to the event. So I'm proud of you guys for joining us, and thank you.
Yeah, and we'll do our due diligence. I believe we'll go through the resumes, and if we think there's opportunities for you, we're gonna present those to you, right?
Thank you. I see a hand raised from Grand.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? All right. My name is Grand Tudeka. I'm a current student in DeVry University for CIS major, concentration in database management. I have done some SQL projects in school as well as personal. And also I'm working right now with a company, but I want to get more hands-on and internship in a database area. My goal is to become a DBA and learn more. I touch some program as well, which is programming languages as C and C Sharp. C Sharp and C++. So I'm trying to see if they have any internship program here I can apply for, and where can I go to apply for them.
Yeah, I know we're gonna have. I don't know about database, and I know we need database people. I know I'm going to be looking for people that are computer science majors and with different specializations. So we can definitely get back to you if we have opportunities directly in database.
Yeah, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So like I said, I'm going to get with Chris and Allison to get a list of the requisitions or the job listings, and then I'll send those to everybody. So you'll get an email from me. Just keep an eye on your inbox. Hopefully it doesn't go to your spam, but just keep an eye on your email. And we'll have a list of directions for you basically to apply.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I know we were to go to 7:30, but I'll defer to Chris and Allison as far as if we want to answer any more questions right now.
I think we're good for another 3 to 5 minutes because I felt
Yeah.
like, somebody might want to ask a couple questions. So
Maybe a couple, yeah, 1 or 2 more questions,
Yeah.
and then we can
Yeah.
close off.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody?
yeah, because we're
Looks like
excited.
there's one in the chat.
This where
I'm just
I have a
looking.
question. I would just like to know, I know you all said a little bit more of the culture and some of the challenges, maybe within the financial financial space or like customer consulting space. Like, what are some of the challenges that that you all have experienced, especially with such rapid growth over the years?
So I can speak to that. So I'm handling financial people right now, and we look for people that have strategic finance experience, and the hiring managers that I've talked to so far, and I've talked to 2 of them, so I haven't talked to every hiring manager that's doing finance, but what they tell me is, I guess in some jobs or some institutions, you're keeping books, right, and every day is the same, and your books are the same, and it's. But he said, with what we do, we're a product organization, so like you said, we're in rapid growth. So 3 months from now, we may have a totally different product set, right? Or we've changed it. And so what they've told me is they need people that are agile, that can change on a dime, right? They need people that are finance people that if a CEO asks a question, they can investigate and come back with that data, right? And they don't need somebody to say, okay, here's the 8,000 data points, right? They're a CEO, they don't have time. What are the 5 data points that I need to know that's going to make my business better? And you need to be able to present that in a professional manner. That's what they've shared with me, and that's what they've told me. So I guess that agility, that ability to pivot quickly, and that ability to do investigation and then present that information easily to VP or CIO or whatever it may be. Does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. No, and like I said, we are fast paced, but like I said, it's the one thing I can tell you, like a personal experience, is my boss is like, we got to make things happen. Like, we're here to make a difference. Like, we're here to change the world. But if you need a break, my boss is like, if you're tired, exhausted, you're no good to me. Take a day off. Like, and they understand that you need those kind of things. People need to recharge and that kind of thing. So as far as the culture, I think you would definitely like the culture. I mean, there's some amazing people here.
Yeah, and I'll just double click on that. Like ServiceNow unlimited PTO. I mean, you don't have to, you just talk to your boss and say, hey, I'm not feeling it. Like, even for me, I'm on vacation this week, but like I love my job so much. My wife and daughter, we actually in Mexico, and I'm like jumping on this call just to be here to give you guys this information because I know it's so important. So yeah.
You're in Mexico with a automated background. You should have to be.
Hold on, man.
A natural background.
Yeah. Well, he had his real background on yesterday, and I think everyone on our team was just too jealous. He had to turn it off.
Oh yeah. I'll give you guys a quick snapshot. Hold on 1 second. I'll give you guys a quick snapshot real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, that looks real nice.
Oh yeah, you sold us. I want a job. I want to work there now.
That's amazing.
Ed Cruz Suite.
See, now that's my number one piece of advice. I've been at ServiceNow for 6 years, going into 7 years. And when people get hired on, they go, Katrina, what's your advice? I say, always take your PTO, always, because you will get so wrapped up and so busy that you won't do it. So I'm taking my finger at Chris. If you're on vacation, you're on vacation.
I know, but
I'm jealous, so I'm hating a little bit.
I love the work so much, and the students to get this opportunity, because it's only a one opportunity when this comes, and when it's over, it's over. So
that's true.
We want to get as many students as we can possibly at ServiceNow in this program. So that's why it's vitally important. So yeah.
Thank you. So let me know if about time for us to wrap up, because what I'll do is I'll send a message to the breakout rooms, and then they'll have about 60 seconds to kind of wrap up their conversations.
Okay, cool. So yeah, man, ServiceNow, man, you work hard, play hard, man. So, just like I said, you come in with the mindset, you're willing to work, you're gonna get rewarded. Oh, and the best thing I also want to tell you guys, and I should have said this, if you got any reason to ever want to work in tech, it's stock options. And I should have told that to the large group, man. That's my bad. I missed that call out. So, dang. So stock options.
Yeah. Good point. No, I want to thank you guys from ServiceNow as well for reaching out to us at HBCU Connect to make this happen. Very happy with the turnout. Obviously, very happy with the breakout sessions seem to be going well. We've got a real nice distribution in each of the rooms, and I want to apologize for those that tried to get in breakout sessions but couldn't. Maybe there's some unknown limitation to Zoom. I looked, but I didn't see one. So I apologize for that, but I wanted to thank everybody for taking the time to attend. And yeah, so I'll be following up with next steps as far as the actual job postings where you guys can apply. We'll share your resume with the ServiceNow team. If you did not, for some reason, come directly through HBCU Connect or hear about this event directly through us, make sure we have your resume. So go to hbcuconnect.com/ServiceNow. Real easy. And then you can submit your resume, and then we'll share the final list of resumes with the ServiceNow team. So thank you. I'm gonna kind of close things out, which is gonna give the folks in the breakout room their last final minute to close up conversations.
You're like the great Oz over there, man. You're about to close it all down.
The Wizard of Oz, man. I feel like that at work a lot of times.
Hey, and thanks. I want to thank all the people on the phone and all the future candidates. I really appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate your interest in ServiceNow.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Everybody
for the opportunity.
Yep. Keep an eye on your email because, like I said, I'm going to follow up within probably 24 hours. So I'll coordinate with Chris and Allison on the requisition or the job postings. Send those over to you guys, and then you guys can apply officially. But like I said, they'll have your resumes as well. All right. So thank you.
Yeah.
Breakout.
Hey, Will.
Yes.
What was your class name at Hampton? I went there for a little bit. Was it were you a quintessent?
I was quintessent
Onyx?
2. Quintessence 2.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I was Onyx 8.
Oh,
for a
really?
little bit. Yeah. The only reason I left it because I went to homecoming at North Carolina A&T, and then it was just never the same.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend the other day, and I said, you know, if I had to choose where I would go to school, I would either go, like now, I would either go to Hampton or I'll go to North Carolina A&T.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I would be stuck at. It's the same two options, and I see a lot of good people still from Hampton to this day, so it was a good experience.
Excellent. Hey, man, thanks for coming. I appreciate you.
Most definitely. Thank you for having me for the event.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so we're gonna pretty much close up or wrap up the event. I wanted to thank everybody for coming. I wanted to thank the ServiceNow team for you know, helping to make this happen. Hopefully the breakout sessions were productive, and like I said, I'm going to follow up after the event and give folks instructions for applying for the internships, you know, after the event, and then also if you have not submitted your resume already to us, you can submit it by going to hbcuconnect.com/ServiceNow and submit your resume to us, and then we'll submit the final list of resumes to the team at ServiceNow. So thank you very much for joining us. And like I said, thanks to the ServiceNow team. Allison and Chris have already jumped off, but I don't know if anybody from the ServiceNow team wanted to give any last or final words.
I see.
I just want to say I love the energy. You guys have a lot of energy. You have a lot of great questions, and there's emails. So if I were you, I would just be all over all of those emails, like in the chat right now. So if I were you, like I would just stick on that real quick. So pull up in the chat before he closes the window, grab a few emails. And Will, did you say there was a link that they could click on to see some internship opportunities?
Well, I will email over the list of internship opportunities. But then
Okay.
if they want to submit resumes to me, I'll put the URL in the chat right now.
Well, strike while that iron's hot. So the iron's hot right now. So good luck to all of you. It's been so great to talk to you.
Hey, thanks to the ServiceNow team, and thanks for everybody for attending. Without you guys attending, we couldn't do events like this. So very important. Appreciate you guys, and have a good evening.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys.
You good.
Take care.
Thank you for this
Thank
opportunity.
you. Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Take care.